Hi, my name is Bear, and let's start with The Witcher 3 Complete Edition. From now on, this edition has been enhanced with numerous visual and technical improvements, including vastly improved level of detail, a range of community-created and newly developed mods, and real-time ray tracing. Also new features and items, including built-in photo modes, swords, armor, and outfits inspired by the Witcher Netflix series, all implemented with the power of modern PCs in mind. But if you play with a potato instead, it's not a problem. Minimum requirements are not that high. Also, this deal must be really interesting for those who never played the game, never finished it, or played only the base game of The Witcher 3, because Game of the Year edition contains everything that was officially released over the years, including both DLCs, concept art, music tracks, and so on. By the way, Blood and Wine DLC is huge, a 20-hour tale with an enormous separate region, although still smaller than your mama. Alien Isolation. Here you are all alone in a giant space station and a xenomorph is hunting you. You have no guns, you are the prey. Sometimes it can take an hour without an encounter, sometimes you can feel it creeping upon you in the vents, sometimes you can hear it, and sometimes you just die because xenomorph is not some usual monster. It's terrifying. The feeling when you see him launching at you from a distance will put your heart into your heels. It looks and moves in a way which somehow invokes the primal fear in your brain. To play this game you will have to have huge mental balls, because with time you may get used to the alien, you may get used to hiding and even to jump scares, but when the game guides you to the alien nest, and it's the only way to go, you will only wish that you had not 2 balls, but at least 4, or more likely 7. Dying Light Definitive Edition. This is a great deal which includes the full game and a huge expansion with a new story, vast original map, and a customizable buggy to drive. Also 2 additional game modes, 2 additional quarantine zones, exclusive weapons and outfits. The game has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, and that makes at least 95% of players happy with their purchase. Anyway, here you'll have to survive in a city ravaged by, obviously, zombie virus and freely roam around basking in its unique atmosphere. You will also use parkour skills to jump or climb buildings and reach remote areas. But the most dramatic shift in the world comes at the sundown as you change from a hunter to a hunted. That is a terrifying experience and you would never leave the safe zone at night, but the best quests and rewards await you only when the darkness falls. Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition. This version includes the base game and all the DLC, so if you never play the game, it's the best version you can get. And the Kingdom Come itself is basically a realistic Skyrim set in medieval Europe. It has a great story, interesting missions, and a really beautiful world set in an ancient part of nowadays Czechia. So grab your sword and show everyone who's the real boss of Czechia is. Spoiler alert, not you probably. The harsh reality of level 1 villager that decided to become a warrior is not very pleasant. But you will learn and armies will fall by your feet sooner or later. Probably way later. Alan Wake. On Steam it has 90% of positive reviews, and on GOG it has scored 4.3 out of 5. And while Alan Wake is a bit older game, it only means that it stood the trials of time really well. It is presented in a style of TV series and features action as well as storytelling sequences. As you dive deeper and deeper into the mystery, you'll face overwhelming odds, plot twists, and cliffhangers. Yeah, cliffhangers in a game, that's cool. It's only by mastering the fight with light combat mechanic that you can stay one step ahead of the darkness that spreads across the land in this psychological action thriller. I should probably say that this is a full version of the game, with all the DLCs, improved resolution, and all other stuff you don't really care about if you never play the game. It's good, I do recommend it.
Return of the Obra Dinn.
In 1802, the merchant ship Obra Dinn set out from London to the Orient with over 200 tons of trade goods. 6 months later, it hadn't met its rendezvous point and was declared lost at sea. But early this morning, about 5 years after its disappearance, the Obra Dinn drifted into a port with damaged sails and no visible crew. As insurance investigator for the East India Company London's office, you dispatch immediately to find means to board the ship and prepare an assessment of damages. So this is a first-person mystery adventure based on exploration and logical deduction. In other words, a story-rich single-player atmospheric horror detective retro walking simulator of the Planet of the Apes. 4.7 out of 5 score on GOG is proof that you won't be disappointed even if it looks very weird. Actually, this is one of the must-play games every gamer should at least try. Link in the description. Middle-earth Shadow of War Definitive Edition. This looks like a very good deal. For 750 euros you will get not only Shadow of War main game but also all the DLCs. They may not be very good, some of them have mostly negative reviews, but as I can see in the comments it's mainly because of the price. And in game you will go behind enemy lines to forge your army, conquer fortresses and dominate Mordor from within. Experience how award-winning Nemesis system creates unique personal stories with every enemy and follower, and confront the full power of Dark Lord Sauron and his ring rates. People on GOG are talking that this is an insanely addictive game. It does try to take the combat system from the Batman games, but it feels much more satisfying. Well, who am I to disagree? Combat here is awesome indeed. Songs of Conquest. The game aims to actually conquer the place in our hearts that we will always had reserved for heroes of might and magic. And yeah, if you leave the throne unattended, and in this case avoid the release of any new title in 7 years, someone will try to sneak up into your pants and... wait, that's another story. Anyway, someone will try to sit on that throne sooner or later. So for everyone who hopes this game to be another Heroes of Might and Magic 3, I have good news. This actually is another Heroes of Might and Magic game, like literally. When I played it, I had the feeling that if you gave the same task of
Please make heroes free
to two different teams, then Songs of Conquest could be the alternative pixel art Heroes 3 we never had until now. So, is it a modern game filled with novelties and originality? No. Is it a nostalgic, really beautiful alternative Heroes 3 game we actually want? Yes, it is. Although if you are allergic to pixels, it's not for you. Avoid. Also, Songs of Conquest have no town screens. I think it's the biggest flaw and the reason I don't play it anymore. I just want my town screens. I can't do anything about that. Expeditions Viking. Game description says, a small band of Norse warriors lands on the shores of England. History may have forgotten their names, but their actions live on. Well, I should probably say that the actions Vikings made in real-life England involved a lot of pillaging and other crimes. So romantic. TV series named Vikings, and later an even better and even more epic TV show named Norsemen teached us about that really well. Game has very positive reviews on Steam, but there are also quite a few comments saying that the game is a bit too slow, you know, just like your sister. So be careful, read those comments before buying. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops players into a vast open world full of different creatures and characters. The game was a bit underrated when it initially came out, but now Dragon's Dogma is regaining its glory, and I've heard that second part is in the works as well. The game shares its open nature with games like Horizon and Witcher 3, but has more strategy and more dynamic fights. It is a tougher game in general, but if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you will probably like this game as well. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem that is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Also, if you enjoyed this video, keep in mind that there is another, where I take a quick look at 10 great RPG games discounted on this GOG winter sale. Also, you will find all the links to all the games in the description below. Just one click and you are there. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.